Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of Royal Black and Elite. I'm Lady TrenettWilson, your lecturer and social historian. I want to thank you for taking some time out today as we look at the Gilded Age, and not just the Gilded Age, but the Gilded Age beyond America. Because most of the time we know about Carnegie and Rockefeller when we talk about the Gilded Age. But if you listen to my videos, you know that there was a contingent of black people who were the black elite who also existed during the Gilded Age here in America, which would have been about the end of the 1800s going right up into the 1900s. However, I wanted to teach you all today about the billionaires of South Africa. There are black billionaires sitting right in the middle of European billionaires in Africa, and I wanted to let you know about them. Now, most of people who hear about billionaires, they know about Johann Rupert. He's worth $10 billion, and he's wealthy in luxury goods. So he owns Cartier and Mont Blanc. So everybody knows about him. The other one is Nicky Oppenheimer, and he's the heir of the De Beers diamond fortune. He's worth about $8.4 billion. So we know about these men. But do you know that there are also African men who are wealthy and even wealthier than these two gentlemen? The top and the most lucrative and richest African man is Aliko Dangote. In fact, he's the richest man in Africa, period. He's worth $13.9 billion. He made his money on cement, sugar, salt, and most recently, oil refining. So, very wealthy man. Again, we don't ever hear about these people, so I'm so excited to bring them to you. Other prominent African men includes Patrice. I'm not going to tear his last name up, but he has $3.4 billion. And Tokyo Sexwal, who is worth $2.14 billion, and he owns a diamond mine. Now, this information comes to you from the Forbes of Africa. And look at these houses. Now, these African millionaires made their money like on natural resources, diamond, gold, oil, and cement. Some also made their millions on banking and telecoms, which was a rapid growth. They didn't have any competition. And look at the homes of these South Africans who are billionaires. And so a lot of times all we know about is the Rockefellers and American wealth. And when they show Africa, oftentimes they show them in a very distressed state. Now, let's not get it twisted. They still exist. The distressed state does. And we'll talk about that. But look at the homes and the luxury that South Africans are now living in because of this Gilded Age that is happening not all these years ago in the 1800s and 1900s, but right now, today. Black people living like this in South Africa today. Now, I know the press would want you to believe that all South Africans are downtrodden, living in poverty. And I'm laughing because I'm looking at the solar panels on the top of the houses. And solar panels are a real big deal here in America, where companies are allegedly having older people buy these solar panels and being in debt for years and years. And in fact, when they try to go and sell their houses, they can't. Hopefully, that's not happening here in South Africa. But again, this is a resort here. So as you see, it is a beautiful country. The wealth that is pouring into the country is astronomical. And these people that I've been mentioning are the partakers of this wealth. So the transformation from modern highways, new skyscrapers, and bustling ports are on the rise. And they mirror, even though it's a different time, the wealth that was happening way back during the Gilded Age for the Europeans. So Africa is changing. Lagos, Nairobi, Johannesburg are all becoming hubs of commerce. Infrastructure is rising. Where there used to be dirt roads, they're now highways. Y'all, this is so important for us to know as the black diaspora here in America, because again, most of the time when you see stories about Africa, they're poor, they're downtrodden, and we don't know anything about these enormous fortunes that these people have built throughout the country and never ever are mentioned. And so I definitely wanted to mention, even like this man here, Mike Andy Niga. He is worth $5.6 billion, and he made his money in the telecom and the oil industry. Again, beautiful job. Here in Africa, I'm proud of our brothers and sisters from the motherland. I don't want this to a division to be existing between us. And there is right now, and I don't like it at all. So I just wanted to uplift and show that we are not only doing well in America, but in Africa, South Africa in particular, they are balling. This is another one. His last name is Rabiu, and he's worth $7.6 billion. And he made his money in the cement and sugar industry. So I just wanted to give some shout outs to them. And they're mining over in Africa. Right now, we know that in America, because of all of the green energy and all of that, they're saying we can't mine, we can't buy this, can't drill for oil. But look what's happening in Africa, a revival in mining. And I know with more safety standards and more clean air and rules that money can be made even here in America. So, as we're looking at other countries becoming filthy rich because they are using their natural resources. Look at this, diamonds, and we know this is the diamond hub in Africa. We understand that they are growing at exponential levels, and they are way beyond American blacks where wealth is concerned. We can name the blacks, Bob Johnson and Jay-Z, and that's questionable, billionaires. But in Africa, they have, again, 19 of them. Look at the luxury. Look at the cars. Come on, y'all. We got to do better here in America. And so Africa across, Africa, there's still poverty, of course, though there are billionaires. They thrive in industries that have monopolies, political connections, and inherited wealth. So don't get me wrong, Africa is notorious, allegedly, for their corruption. So this money that these people are making, look at this Rolls Royce, this money that they are making and the life that they are living often is in a stark contrast to the poverty of the people there in Africa. So I don't want to paint a picture that this ultra wealthy and rich is all over Africa. But I did want to let you know that they are there and that they do exist. But there's much work to be done. I hope that these gentlemen are giving in philanthropy, because this is what the poor side of South Africa looks like. So just like during the Gilded Age, you had all of these mansions and beautiful homes going up. And then right down the street, you had poverty and ghettos going up. Well, the same thing is happening in Africa. In the shadows of all of these mansions are these slums that people are living in, unclean water, unclean conditions. So even though we like to celebrate and like to see that Black wealth is moving forward, the truth is there is still work to be done. And again, I hope that they are turning back in their own communities and making sure that the wealth is not just going up to the top, like in Cape Town and Lagos, but also dispersing throughout the whole entire continent. So I thank you all for joining me today for another great episode of Royal Black and Elite. As you know, we're getting ready for the launch of Hunter's Point, my new audiobook, on October the 10th, 2025 at 8 p.m. You all, I need you all to tune in and continue to learn about our Royal Black history. Thank you all so much for joining me. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Are you from South Africa? Did you know that there's this type of wealth in South Africa? Leave your comments down below, and let's celebrate the new and emerging Gilded Age amongst our Black people. Thank you all for joining me, and continue to click down below so that you continue to learn. I'll see you on another great episode of Royal Black